I'd just like to make one or two brief announcements. All you folks who have tickets for the dinner tonight, will you pick up your reservation as soon as possible, any time from now on, at the information booth in the lobby. Now, the number of your ticket has nothing to do with the table that you're sitting at, so you can pick up the table, and that'll save a great deal of trouble tonight. Now, for the folks who are staying here at the hotel and are attending the dinner and do want to leave after the dinner, there's a special arrangement about checking out. The regular checking out time is at 2 o'clock, but it's been extended. And you can, I don't know what arrangements they've made. You can't stay, of course, until the dinner is over, but it will be extended. And then you can pack up and pay your bill this afternoon, and then pack your things, and before the dinner, why, check your bags, and then you can leave afterwards. For the folks who are staying, Robert Welch and Mrs. Welch have an open house tomorrow in Belmont, and they'll be there to greet you, and all the staff will, and the whole plants are all open. And I know there are some John Birches here, and that's just for them, but everybody else is welcome to go over. And you folks who are John Birches have been writing to American Opinion and Members' Monthly Messages. You know the names, but a lot of you haven't met the people, so it's a wonderful opportunity. Then, as far as anybody who is registered here at the hotel, the same prices for the rally will be in operation if you want to stay a couple of days and do sightseeing. And I would appreciate as many people as possible when you get home, if you've enjoyed being here at the hotel, writing to management and telling them so, because you see, this is a long holiday weekend, and if we weren't here, there would be just a skeleton crew. So everybody who is working here at the hotel is working this holiday weekend because we're here. And also, it would be nice to drop a message to Conrad Hilton in Beverly Hills, who owns the hotel, and the reason we were allowed to be here 8 years ago with all the opposition and with the AFL and the CIO going to pull a strike if they let us be here, it was due to Conrad Hilton that we're here. He got in touch with the hotel here and said to show the New England Rally for God and Country every courtesy, that they were the finest people that he knew. And I would just like to say this also, this is our 8th year here, and we have very close connections with the hotel, and every one of management here says that the people who attend the New England Rally for God, Family, and Country are the finest group of people that ever come into the hotel. There has never been an incident. You don't see, you know what hotels are, you men who go to different conventions and things, you know, there's hospitality rooms, and there's a lot of good time and good fellowship and all like that, and we're all for that. But the thing with it is, the people, this is family, and we hope that when you go home, if you've enjoyed it, you'll plan and start working now for next year, and bring more people to it, bring more youth to it, and all like that, and we'll appreciate it. Now, the reason Colonel Bunker isn't here and has asked me to close this part of the rally, is that Colonel Bunker left a little while ago to go to the airport to greet Governor Maddox, who is coming into he's coming into Boston with a Boston police motorcade. And I just want to say, but they haven't got him by the arm. I just want to say a word or two about Governor Maddox. You know, Governor Maddox was here about 3 years ago, when he was in such trouble, and Colonel Bunker invited him to be a speaker, and we almost put the rally out of business, because we had all kinds of pickets, and even our own people who had come here said, why do you take a beautiful rally that's so well organized and then cause all this trouble and all like that? Well, Colonel Bunker felt that he didn't know Governor Maddox just by name and what he'd been through, but he felt that Governor Maddox had a story to tell, and he thought he should tell it to the American people because he couldn't tell it through the press, and that's why we had Governor Maddox here. And And Governor Maddox has proven to be one of the finest men that we know. And I don't know, as I say, a lot of you people aren't John Birch's, but Governor Maddox for the last 2 years has had John Birch Day in Georgia. And when Governor Maddox was running for governor, and nobody in the world thought he'd win, and I don't think he thought so himself, because he didn't see how he possibly could, but he made a pledge that if he ever became governor, one of the first things he would do, he would have a day dedicated to the memory of John Birch. I'll just make 2 more statements and I'll let you go. I was there's been a lot of going back and forth about the governor, and of course Governor Maddox has been very, very ill, had a very serious operation 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then complications set in afterwards. And I happened to be in Atlanta, Georgia about 2 weeks ago, and one of the last things Colonel Bunker said to me, don't you leave Atlanta until you go and pay your respects at the hospital to Governor Maddox. Now, he knew I couldn't see him because he was very ill, but I did go. Well, I had no sooner got back to my destination down in where I was staying in Georgia when the telephone rang, and it was Governor Maddox on the telephone. And he said, Anna, I was so distressed when I found out you were here and they wouldn't let you in. He said, you just should have gone by the police and just opened the door and come in. Well, anyway, I had to call him up 2 days ago and located him at the Capitol, and to find out was he coming on a commercial plane or was he coming on the government plane, and a few details. And he said, you know, Anna, we intended to have him here tonight at the dinner as a head table guest, which previously he had planned on doing to honor Bill Grady, who he greatly admires and respects and loves like everybody does. But he told me that he couldn't, and in fact Mrs. Maddox was coming up with Mrs. Winship and the Atlanta delegation, and she was going to be here all week, and then she was going to stay and go to Belmont on Monday and then leave Tuesday with the Atlanta people. But of course on account of this it changed plans and all. And he said, Anna, I'm coming up the doctors don't approve of me going up. You know, I haven't been doing much, but I've gone back to the Capitol and working part-time. But he said, if I had to crawl, he said, I wouldn't disappoint you or Colonel Bunker, so I'll be there. And then you all read in the paper the last couple of days about these foolish young boys who've been taken over by the conspiracy, and they're going to pick up the hotel today, and they said they had abandoned the rally because Governor Maddox was going to be here. Don't let them fool you. They had abandoned us long before Governor Maddox was going to be here. And so Governor Maddox will be here, and then he has to leave at 5 o'clock because he's taken a late afternoon plane back. But I just wanted to say this. Colonel Bunker told me that Governor Maddox had called him yesterday morning, and the Associated Press, the UPI, and all the press all over the country had been in contact with Governor Maddox to see if he was coming, and he told them he was. But he called Colonel Bunker, and he said, now, Colonel Bunker, I don't want to do anything in the world to embarrass you or the New England rally. If you think it would be best for me not to come, I've got a very good reason for not coming. And he said, on kind of my health and all like that. And Colonel Bunker said, Governor Maddox, you're coming to the rally if you have to crawl. And so anyway, Governor Maddox is coming, and will you all remember him in your prayers that God will help save a really great Christian? Thank you.
May I just say that Governor Maddox is safely in the hotel, and looking far better than you would expect him to look. And apparently yesterday he had made some 12 or 15 different appearances at 4th of July rallies around Georgia. but he still was determined to come up here, and as I say, he's looking very fit and delighted to be here.